Powerful Play Experiences, Positive Workplace Mental Health for Teens.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was something that I created, let's call it a business, that I created about 13 or 14 years ago.
Wow.
Unbeknownst to me, it was probably for that reason right there.
I bet.
But I didn't language it that way. When businesses hire me to do a workshop with their staff, they'll ask, so, do you need PowerPoint? Do you need technology? How are we going to set up the stage? And I say, well, you should have known by now, if you made a call to me, that it's not about that, because that takes us away from human engagement, from feeling human together, to being. And so all of my workshops are about, and I'm not using the right word, engagement. They're all about the sandbox. Come play with me in the sandbox. Come bring your pail and shovel. I mean, literally, that's what it's about. But it's all of us going to the park together for good old-fashioned play, and leave all of technology behind. Leave, your ego, check your egos at the door. Be vulnerable, get in the sandbox, and let's play.
Wow.
So I'm sensing that I'm sort of on that path that you're speaking of, which is a little bit about how we as communities have created ways to be disconnected, and you're talking about mental health is created socially. Let's start looking at the reconnections to ourselves and to others as part of healing, right? But all in a very vulnerable, needing to know that you need to be vulnerable in order to best facilitate growth, to make it happen for you.
Yeah. And what I love about what you do is that it's fun.
Yeah, that I know. It doesn't even look like we're having fun here. That's the irony of the whole. They don't even look like they're having fun. That's it. Well, it was interesting. Like at the beginning of Powerful Play Experiences, the intention was just to be a breakout session at conferences. That's how I envisioned the business to me. That conferences were going to book me to be the non-traditional, unconventional presentation and clear the room of the tables and chairs. We're coming in to play. We're coming in to have fun. So I thought that was going to be the way of Powerful Play. And into the first year, I started to receive calls for team building. And so I faked it over the phone, and people would say, so I heard you're all about team building. You do this team building thing. I do this team building thing. So I immediately became the team building guy. But into the second year, and this is where fun comes in, people started using the phrase. They literally branded me with the phrase, oh, you're the fun at work guy. Because whether you were in a conference breakout, team building, or just another special event with Powerful Play, it was fun. Right. It was fun. So they said, oh, you're the fun at work guy. So it was so easy. It was so easy at the beginning, really easy at the beginning, to push the idea of fun. So I came up with a phrase, which was my elevator pitch, right? And I said, I'm in the business of fun at work, which is like such a contradictory thinking. Fun?
Yeah.
Business? Work? No, these things don't, there is no relationship between the three. And 100% of the people who I had spoken to about what I do would respond with, oh, we totally need more fun at work. We totally need more fun at work. And that comes back to what you were saying, in part, around the disconnect, right? And between people, in their relationship with work, and then relationship with their coworkers, the disconnect. So they saw fun at work, a timeout, a break, a mental health break from all the crazy that is the world of work, to reconnect, to re-energize, to reorganize their brain and their thinking, and find that happy and joy again. And it was only the Canadian Mental Health Association here in Edmonton in the past 2 to 3 years that said to me, Rob, you're in the business of mental health.
Yeah.
And that wasn't my response.
No?
That wasn't
Were
my-
you surprised?
I went silent.
Huh.
And I met with a gentleman at the Canadian Mental Health Association of Alberta, but I met him here in Edmonton. I went silent on him, and I said, well, I don't understand. I'm not getting it. So I said, well, a couple of things he said to me was, first, you've shared with me your own challenges with, depression, and anxiety, and, you spoke about 4 generations of mental health diagnosed, 4 generations of diagnosed mental illness in your family. So a lot of stories there. And he said to me, so you have a lived experience. Mm-hmm. And I had never heard that term before. So he said, if you can start using the words, I live with and I manage my mental health, it totally shifted my relationship with my mental health, because it wasn't something outside of me, it was me and my own relationship with myself. And I felt more connected and more able to find signs of hope within, because now I was inspired by a positive perspective at looking at the illnesses. So back to powerful play experiences. So he says, so you do know that fun at work, forget it, just fun. That's all about mental health.
Yeah.
And so I went silent on him a second time, and it was mind blowing. He says, and he was chuckling at me by that point, because he said, it's don't you see it? You live with and manage depression and anxiety. You're the fun at work guy. Don't you see that you're promoting good mental health, in the community? And that's when I began to make the shift and push the message that, fun at work. Happy and engaged teams. That's good mental health.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is.
And I thought to myself, wow, that's a little bit of a risk on my part. Yeah, I was nervous, Connie. I was nervous. Why do you think I was nervous pushing that message?
Well, it's not very common.
It's not common.
Yeah, and we often go to mindfulness or learning breathing techniques.
You
We
bet.
think of that, right? We don't think about having a good time and celebrating.
You got it.
That is really counterculture right now.
That's it.
That's why I like you.
And I like you too. And I like you more now that I understand what mental health has created socially. And you're absolutely correct, because it wasn't a specialization, right? Mindfulness. What else?
Oh, yoga class.
Yoga class.
Which are all great.
Right.
They're good too. But,
Right.
But this is different. People, including yourself, don't think of fun
Yes.
as mental health work.
That's it. Wow. As fun as mental health ... work. Write that down.
Yeah,
Write that down.
That's good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Meaning the idea of needing to work at fun at work.
Yes.
That we need to
Make it intentional.
make it intentional. And 100% of the organizations in the 13 years that I've been out there traveling across Alberta, a little bit into BC, a little bit into Saskatchewan, have not made it intentional.
And that's why we are where we are.
What does that mean?
Well, we're so serious about getting better at our mental health. We're even serious about that. It's like, I need to do my mindfulness exercise already this morning.
Oh, I see.
We're very serious.
We're very serious.
And somber. And we're even serious the way we teach our kids how to take care of their mental health. We're going to have a mental health assembly, kids. And it's like, man, where's the joy? Joy is a really powerful emotion.
Wow.
And it doesn't mean, I love what you said. We're not pushing depression and anxiety away. We're owning it. We're bringing it in.
That's it.
But we're realizing that it's a part of us. It's not all of us, but we need to manage it. And joy plays a really big role.
Wow.
And joy with one another.
Right on. How are we feeling about the joy thing right now?
Joy, I'm feeling it.
We're at the 10 joy. They're at the 10, right?
Yeah.
Wow, You get it.
I get it. And so what you're doing is so important. And workplaces need to understand that if they want to create more ROI and if they want more productivity with their employees, they got to have a great culture that you're going to help them bring.
And I think of it also as ROIK.
Ooh, what's the K?
Return on the investment of kindness.
Yeah.
Because out of joy, out of happy, out of good energy, right, comes a kinder, gentler you and me versus I always think about the times as a kid when I go to the park with my buddies and we'd meet kids from other parts of the neighborhood, but they were French and we were English. This is growing up in Montreal. So there was a separation right there, right? But when everybody got into the sandbox together and played and had fun and were happy and there was joy, what happened?
It didn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. The return on investing in just kindness. So through play, through fun, now I could better appreciate you. I could better understand you. You went silly with me, right? You played with me. You smiled. You laughed. I saw the best in you. I saw the joy in you. How could I not? How could I not extend even more kindness or respect to you for you being vulnerable with your happiness, your joy, your good energy, your silly, your fun? How could I not be even more kind when you're vulnerable with me in that play situation?
Isn't that true?
Yeah, there's no budget required for this. There's no budget required, and that's the cool thing about this.
Yeah.
Employers get hung up about budgets and budget lines, and so we have these discussions in the workshops. There's no budget line required for fun at work. For fun at work, and playfulness, and seeing it as a bridge to move from. That's a cue for you.
Sorry,
that's
my cue.
That's her cue.
I need to say something.
To move from
just productivity and bottom line.
You see how serious you look now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the value, powerful play experiences, positive workplace mental health for teams, and it's been a crazy journey because it meant that I had to become vulnerable myself and put the message out there online in my workshops, so that hey, I do live with and I do manage depression and anxiety. But I've learned over the past few years is that the irony of the fun at work guy, the play guy, the happy guy talking about depression and anxiety is just a wonderful, wonderful way to shift people's thinking about what mental health or what mental illness looks like. Because we all have a picture in my mind, in our minds, around what mental illness looks like. For example, here, give me an example. If we talk about mental illness, what might it look like for you?
Well, some people instantly go to schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like crazy, like an insane asylum.
Yeah, you bet.
Right? Instead of thinking of it as just human emotion.
You bet.
And it turns into illness when we don't know how to handle human emotion in ourselves and in others. We blow it up instead of just keeping it under wraps, keeping it as hey, you had a normal human experience today, feeling sad. And maybe that sadness has lasted a very long time because of traumatic events. But you know what? That's still a human experience. And as soon as somebody walks alongside of you, allows you to feel like, oh, that's kind of normal, and they're allowed to feel sad, they're allowed to feel angry, and they're allowed to have fun, they come alive as human beings again.
And you didn't even reference anything about schizophrenia.
No.
That's saying asylums, right?
No.
Nothing. And that's those words are just the pictures in my mind. For me, it changed the face of what mental illness looks like because I grew up with that picture in my mind, right? Having two parents experiencing mental illness, and uncles and aunts and cousins, and in the times that I grew up, the word insane asylum, was oftenly used, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. You're crazy, and so you've just shifted my picture of what mental health or what mental illness looks like. So it's interesting for me to, be fun in a workshop, be creative, and smile and laugh and dance, and then throw the message to everybody. Oh yeah, by the way, I live with a managed depression and anxiety, and I love the impact that I have on people, because there's silence in the room, because they can't wrap their head around, well, if on the surface there's that much energy, that much fun, how could he be suffering? How could he be proclaiming that he has an illness? How could he say he's not well?
That does go hand in hand. You're showing a real normal side, and
Which all of us have.
What is normal? Like, really, that's a whole thing, right?
Correct.
But I'm wondering, so if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Call Connie! Call Connie! Call Connie!
Your people call my
Yeah,
people, and my people call his people.
Exactly.
Is it powerfulplayexperiences.com?
It's powerfulplay.ca.
Oh.
Don't you like that, the rhythm there? www.powerfulplay.ca.
It rhymes.
It rhymes. It's very intentional there.
Well,
very intentional
I
there.
think that, if you're a workplace, even schools, you know what? Yeah, listen to me, right? You need to book him, because honestly, this is a real important thing. And so.
And what's an important thing?
The important thing is these normal human experiences coming in, bringing fun and excitement and play, so that then people can feel like they're better connected and they can talk. So I want you to book Robert. And thank you, Robert.
No, thank you.
Whoa,
All right.
High five. Yeah.